Well, looks like I was right about little Nick Fuentes there. I said, is he America first or Vatican first? Vatican first. And I want to recommend a video that you can go watch. I'm going to put a link to it at the end. And he did a great job on it. And I will give credit where credit is due. I believe in the Bible when it says that charity rejoiceth in the truth. There are a number of people that I might not recommend everything that they say or do or whatever, and they certainly wouldn't do that for me. But if I see a good work being done by them, and they're using the King James Bible, and they're against the Roman Catholic Church, and for a lot of the similar things, I'm going to say, okay, I'll recommend that video. Spencer Smith did a video exposing Nick Fuentes. Nick Fuentes, a few days after I came out with my video, he comes out and he says that he wishes that there was no such thing as people having the Bible freely accessible to them, because it's led to transgender ministries and things like this. And Steven Anderson, interesting little tie in there, nothing to it, I'm sure. But, and we would all have been better off if nobody would have just had the Bible, and just the clerics can tell us what it says and whatever. We need Catholic gatekeepers to explain the scriptures to us. And that's America first. Little papist devil. Nick Fuentes, I'm not talking about Spencer. He's not a papist devil. But, so I'm going to link to the video at the end there. Watch it. He did a good job on it. I told him so in the comments. And he actually thanked me. He said, yeah, thank you. I watched, there was another guy, I cannot think of his name right now, but he was with the new IFB for a little bit, and then he was with Ken Hovind for a little while. And he came out with a video exposing the fact that Jim Jones was actually an atheist. And if I can remember, I'll try to link that video at the end too. But I told him, same thing. Hey, we've disagreed. He's actually attacked me different times, whatever. But he uses the King James Bible. He's against the Catholic Church. He's awake to the whole, what's going on with the nation of Israel and whatever. And the Jim Jones video he did, showing that Jim Jones was not just a cult leader, he was an atheist. And all the atheists like to use Jim Jones as a way to say, oh, see, this is what religion does. They're actually exposing their own religion, which is funny. But did a great job. I'll give credit where credit is due. I believe in purity of doctrine. I believe in a lot of what I say is designed to make people think. I'm not trying to just destroy everybody who's not me and whatever else. I want you to think. I want you to go back to the scriptures. Make the scriptures your final authority in all matters of faith and practice. That is a desire, my desire. It's not Brian Denlinger Video Ministries. It's King James Video Ministries. All right? That's the title that I've used all these years for the ministry, because I want to turn people to the King James Bible. That's your ultimate source of truth. And I want to challenge you. Right? Are you doing things that are unscriptural? Are those causing you to be in a bad relationship with the Lord? That's what I'm saying there. Just wanted to put this thing out here. And as far as the whole Nick Fuentes thing goes, I was trying to have a little bit of grace there. I've never really looked into him or anything. I knew that I'd heard some different things. He said some inflammatory stuff over the years, that he's a radical Catholic and whatever. But I've never actually researched the guy. I don't have time to waste on some little idiot like that. Little frail little boy. I can't stand these guys. They got girl hands, They got these little skinny fingers, and I've never actually done any kind of physical labor or something. Not just Catholics, Protestants, or anybody. You need to be a man, okay? The Lord Jesus Christ worked for many years as a carpenter. I mean, he was called not just the carpenter's son, but the carpenter. He worked out in a similar situation like this, working with his hands, with wood and whatever. Knew how to swing a hammer, I'm sure, and use a saw and all the other things they would have had back then. He was a real man. And if you're going to claim to be a Christian, then you need to be a young man that knows how to work some physical labor, and not just get on and just run your mouth for hours at a time, and a bunch of other loser teenagers like you like to listen to you and things. And so funny how that Nick Fuentes, he's so anti-Jewish and all this other stuff, and brings out all these things exposing the Jews, the Jewish power structure, but yet he's part of the Catholic Church that signed the whole Nostra Aetate thing back there with the Second Vatican Council, whereby Catholics and Jews are supposed to get along and work together. Fifth Kingdom. That's what it's all about. The merger of the iron and miry clay. Miry clay in the King James Bible is a reference to Israel. Look up the references to miry clay. Do a little word search. Okay, it's Israel. Israel and Rome joining together. That's the fifth kingdom. That's why the Jews, when they crucified the Lord Jesus Christ, they said, Pilate says, shall I crucify your king? We have no king but Caesar. Miry clay joining with the iron. That's the fifth kingdom. And if you study history, you'll see it. The Zionist Jews and the fascist Catholics have been the ones controlling things and trying to exert their power on everybody else since the first century. Rome was having some problems, and militarily they started kind of going downhill. Not in the first century, but in the centuries after that. And they, came out with their whole Roman Catholic, well, we can't make it as imperial Rome, so we'll become spiritual Rome. And we'll just control the kings and the princes and everybody else through having membership in our church. And we'll have our crusades later on, and we'll have our Catholic knighthoods that we have, the Knights of Malta, the Knights of Columbus, the Knights of the Equestrian Order, all these different Catholic knighthoods, the Jesuit order, Ignatius de Loyola, being a military commander, and before he started his whole Society of Jesus thing, the Jesuits, and little Nick Fuentes, his thing of, I don't think we should even have the Bible, it should just be for the clerics. Ironic, because the preface to the Douay-Rheims translation, which I have one, the original Catholic version of it, not the one that they put out there for Protestants, like the Challoner revision from the 1800s. The actual Catholic Douay-Rheims translation literally says, in the preface, the exact words of Nick Fuentes about how that only the clergy should have the scriptures, not the laity. Because if you understand the Protestant Reformation, I have to say this yet, the Protestant Reformation was all about how do you dethrone the power of the corrupt Roman Catholic system by giving the scriptures to the people. Because if you read the scriptures, you obviously realize the Roman Catholic Church is not the Christian church. It's not there, all right? So that's why little Nicky, he doesn't want you to have the Bible. He's going to have an America, strong America, strong America. We just will forbid you from reading scripture. Yeah, and I guess I'm going to get some of his little followers or whatever else that, I'll just be nice here. Some of his little followers, and they'll come along and they'll say, he isn't saying that he'll take away the Bible. But when you come out and you say people shouldn't have the Bible, you might as well just say that, we're going to take it away from people. Just another little idiot. And of course, he's a man. I'm going to tell you about things, You're going to get married? No, there are no good women out there. Well, good women come as a result of good men. Okay? You marry a woman, she's the weaker vessel. It's the man's responsibility to provide for her. Okay, to be a good example. If the woman has any questions, let her ask her husband at home. All right? When you're out there meeting with other Christians and fellowship with other Christians, hey, let's go home, and it's going to be my job here, wife, to teach you the scriptures. I'm not going to call up the local hireling and say, hey, please instruct my wife or whatever. No, the man, every Christian man is supposed to be a preacher in his own home. But little Nicky, he's going to be sterile. He's celibate. And just going to sit there just, rubbing a pumpkin on his head or something. And I don't think people should have the Bible for themselves. You think I'm joking? Watch the video at the end. So, that's going to be it, I guess. And I'll just say this. I'll have to get you involved again. My son over here, he's out here right now because I'm trying to teach him how to be a man. We're scrapping things, taking stuff apart. He's been taking stuff apart since he was a little boy. We have an old radio that doesn't work, an old whatever toaster or whatever else and things. He's learned so much about that stuff. Teaching him how to work on vehicles, teaching him woodworking skills and things. We're going to start building something in here. I won't get into that right now, but a lot of things that we're doing. And you know what his next project is? I'm going to tell him. Okay? Here's his project that he wants to work on. I'm telling we just talked about this before I turned the camera on, and I said, not right now, son. We're, not going to happen.
I'm a
this big. Yeah, he's very anxious for this. This big oil furnace up here, it's got some serious problems and whatever, and we're just not going to use it because I don't want to recirculate dusty air in here. It's just a bad idea. I haven't liked this thing ever since we've been here. We tried it one time and it was just, we were sneezing and coughing and we just, ugh.
I saw
And
sawdust up in there.
Yeah,
It's stuck in sawdust.
he actually took the side cover off, took the filter out. He's inspecting the motor and everything. Power shut off to it. But my son here, he wants to deconstruct that whole furnace up there. That's his thing he wants to do. And then we want to put another pellet stove back where that oil tank is right there. My finger is pointed to. And then we can use the two different pipes, the fill pipe and the vent pipe, as places to put the fresh air intake and the exhaust pipe for the pellet stove. So that's our plan right now. We're going to try to get rid of that big oil furnace up there. And Oliver wants to take it all apart. And why am I trying to do that? What's the point of me saying that? Because I want this boy, when he gets older, I want him to have a lot of skills. And the scrapping and things that we're doing here, we're going to take it to the scrap yard, and he gets the money for it because he's put a lot of hours in his desk or his workbench over here. And you can see it's covered in stuff back that way. That whole thing there, that's where he takes stuff apart. And he's put in a lot of hours out here. And that's what I want. This is the most important homeschooling thing, to teach him not just math and, arithmetic and the proper English and, all the different stuff that you would learn in school. But he also has to have a lot of wisdom up here. And he's run chainsaws, he's split firewood. Like I said, he's worked on ATVs and dirt bikes. And I mean, he's worked on a lot of different stuff. And now he wants to take down that furnace.
I feed wood stoves.
And we set up our wood stove in the house, and the one I was going to put into the office, I did that in another video, and set that thing up. I haven't lit the stove yet in the morning or in the evening. He's done all of it. He takes care of the wood stove completely, and he does the other one too, the full-size wood stove down in the basement. He does it all. And doing firewood and everything else, going out here. A lot of times I'm working on the computer editing a video or something, and he says, "Father, is it okay if I go out?" He has 5-gallon buckets. Can I go out to the shop, get everything started out there, and get some firewood for the little stove? Yeah, sure, absolutely. This pellet stove over here, that one, the last 2 days, Oliver's come out completely by himself and opened it up, cleaned everything, takes the little basket thing where the pellets fall down into. You have to clean it, make sure all the holes are open, make sure the igniter's vacuumed off. We have a little ash vacuum over there that you have to plug in, and then he takes it, he opens up everything, cleans it all out, and then gets the pellet stove started. He's done that 2 days in a row now. I haven't even had a chance to be out here and start the thing. So
I filled it.
yeah, and he's filled it. So that's how you teach your children, for any parent out there. That's the most important thing. He needs to have multiple skills that he can fall back on. And if you have a daughter, then she needs to have some skills too. Teach her how to cook. He cooks food too. Sometimes he'll cook a meal. But boys and girls both can learn how to cook. I like cooking myself. But I don't mean I cook myself, then I wouldn't be here. I'm not a Catholic. I don't believe in eating flesh and blood of people, especially of the Lord. Weird beliefs. But little Nicky has it, so he's popular because he's a cannibal.
And because
Catholic
he has
cannibal.
a pumpkin.
He rubs a pumpkin on his head. That's for good luck or something, maybe, I don't know. But if you have a daughter, teach her things that will serve her as being a mother and a wife. Teach her those things. Teach your son how to work with things. And one of the sayings I say to him a lot out here is, I say, I will never ask you to do something that I don't believe you can do safely. Right? Mm-hmm. And so there are times when I look and I say, he's not ready to use that machine, or he's not ready to do this, or not ready to do that. And then after a while, I see, okay, he's maturing a little bit. And then you say, okay, I want you to use this. Father, I don't know. You can do it. And that's how you build the confidence of a son. And that's what I'm trying to do. My father did that for me. I'm trying to do it, carry that on for Oliver here. So, but anyhow, we need to stop. I need to quit yapping, and we need to start working. We have a lot to do. So, but if you're a young man out there, and I know young men, a lot of them, they don't have a good father, and their father's not there to teach them things and whatever else, and so they'll drift towards kind of a guy that seems to be more outspoken or whatever. Nick Fuentes is not who you want to listen to. Nick Fuentes is a Catholic. Catholics all submit to the authority of the Pope. Oh, I don't think Nick would. I get that from his, some of Nick's followers or whatever. He wouldn't, submit to the Pope. If the Pope said, Nick Fuentes, get over here to the Vatican, you're going to be bowing down and kissing my big toe, which they do. I'm not making that up. If he said that, Nick Fuentes would be on the first flight to Vatican City. Like that. Of course he would. Of course he would. Oh, I don't think Nick's a real strong Catholic. I think he's just kind of a nominal Catholic. He just proved that wrong. Just the other day, a couple days ago. No, he's a fanatic Catholic. Okay? So if you're a young man, you follow Nick Fuentes, he's going to turn you into an effeminate little girly boy with a big mouth that likes to cuss and swear, which is a rejection of Jesus Christ when you do that, by the way. I'll be doing a video on that. But he's going to make you celibate, so you don't have any children of your own to pass on things to. And he's going to make you weak, just like him. I would avoid Nick Fuentes like a plague. He's a hypocritical little jerk, quite frankly. Like to see him get saved, whatever else. But I think it's fairly clear that he's sold out to the devil. And whatever at this point could still get saved, but there'd have to be some big changes. Mostly leaving the Catholic Church. So here we are at the end. I'm going to put the links to the videos here and here and watch them. That's going to be it. Thank you for watching.